Let's say you live in who am I to say that if you give me an opportunity to experience for myself that it's actually possible, then that's the way that I can verify or falsify your
assertion.
Yeah, assertions. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. So then this person in that two-dimensional flat world would say, okay, give me a training, and then the training would be the angle of the training would be to show people that there's a third dimension, and that if you want to go anywhere in the two-dimensional flat, that the way to find which steps to take in order to get to anywhere on that two-dimensional even is by going a hang above it, and look back down and see, okay, so if I take those steps and then go there, then that's how I get from here to there. And then you see that although you could use the two-dimensional approach, which is just go to somebody who can tell you how to do certain things, or use these rules and you will always find it, that you from looking up there, you can not only recognize, wow, yeah, these rules could actually do the job, but I don't need the rules in order to get to the same situation. And actually, from this venture point, I can even see that there's better ways of getting there. And that by doing it that you also encounter these problems, which can be avoided if you do it in another way. Yeah. Okay. So we already live in a three-dimensional world, a four-dimensional world, if you take time in it. And what I'm saying is, if there's a fifth-dimensional perspective to all these things that we call our life and our world and our problems and our goals and our outcomes, and if you add that to the picture, then new things become available to you that wouldn't be. You can't even imagine what it can mean. Beforehand. But once you had the experience, there's no denying that there's a reality there that you were previously unaware of. And it's nothing hokey pokey, it's nothing, no, it becomes a reality and it will change everything, but it will also retain all those values you already had. It will just make them, more dimensional, more aspects to it, more beauty, more. And I think we all have experience already where we inadvertently stumble on something, and these are the moments where you didn't expect the beauty of the sunrise, and now you're confronted with it. It just overwhelms you. It gives you an impression of that fifth dimension, if you call it that, could actually add to your ability to deal with your issues and your problems and your challenges. Yeah. It gives a level or a dimension of intense appreciation and pleasure to it. Yeah.
When you talk now, you brought in a concept which I've seen often used in other sort of trainings, and which is the perspective. In other trainings, this is an area where I've often seen people say it's all a matter of perspective, or so. How would you describe?
Well, there's a difference between saying it's all a matter of perspective, because there could still be reasons in you that make it important to see it that way, or is there's no denying that it's all a matter of perspective. Yeah, you see that difference, right? So you can say it's all a matter of perspective and use it as an argument not to have to discover what else there could be. Or there's like just seeing like shit, there's nothing outside of perspective. If there's no denying that everything that is or that can be noticed is always connected to a perspective, if there's no denying, then that the consciousness that there is no denying of that's not like an opinion, like something that whatever you try or do, it's denying something you cannot deny. So, yeah, from that venture point, it's clear that everything is a matter of perspective is true, but it's not true for the fact that you're able to actually see that, because being able to see that itself is more than perspective, because it's denial of the possibility that it could be otherwise. And this is another example of if you hang above the world of thought, where perspective is a concept, and that concept is either important or not, it makes things possible and impossible. If you hang above it, then you see the relationship between the concept and everything that it gets you, or that it stops you from getting, then all of a sudden you realize it's not about whether it's true or not, but it's about whether you see when it is true and when it isn't, and how it limits you and how it enables you. And I can't give that to you in words. It's an experience, and that experience we have discovered is transferable. It's something that if you are put in a situation where you're facilitated to discover inside of yourself how things inside of you function, how it works when it does, that is sort of, it's almost revived, because I think it's been there all along, but it's lost, but it hasn't been there in the way that it's a conscious ability. So that's what will be added to the situation. And most people that are in the training all of a sudden recognize, once they see it again, they say, oh, but wait a second, I already knew this. How come I didn't recognize it? Because it was separated from who you think you are. Yeah. At that moment when people get it and they see it, and all of a sudden you look at one another and words are superfluous. You don't need to say anything anymore. You're looking and you're nodding, and both of you, yeah, that's it.
So, yeah,
it doesn't make you special. It makes you normal again.
In that way, it's not that your perspective changes, but your awareness changes, which changes your perspective.
Exactly. Very nice.
Yeah.
And you call it your awareness, but I would say that the awareness, there's something added to the awareness which makes it whole again. So nothing that is undeniable is denied anymore. And that in itself is that is more than any perspective could ever be. It's the realm in which perspectives find a place. It's also not personal anymore.
What's the significance of it not being personal then?
Oh, that's just a word, of course, but in the sense of what's personal is that which is stopping you from acting on what you already understand. It's the confusion that we're normally in, that we don't see how what we understand, if acted upon, would cause, additionally, that would cause things that we don't want. So if you're still in that mind mode, that's what I call personal. That's where people eventually get into conflict with one another, or situations, or themselves. And that area of conflict, of non-harmony, is what I call the personal realm.
So then, if you were to summarize what someone would expect from the end of the training, in terms of person, what would the difference be before the training and after? Oh,
that they understand what it is when things are personal, and how that limits any situation, including your own possibilities for experiencing meaning and reward, and help me, there's another word.
Gratification?
Gratification, all those stuff. So although you think that what's holding on to what's personally important to you is what's giving you the gratification, it's actually in a far more extensive way keeping gratification from you. But it's a gratification that comes to you because you're not contradicting what's I would almost say just or true, or there's a lot of words used for that, but not contradicting the reality that is possible is the biggest gratification that one could ever have. But you can only discover it if you're willing to set aside your personal limitations for a while. Yeah? In our case, we ask, if we promise you that you'll see that those personal aspects are gonna find more gratification later on, yeah, and only under that condition, would you be willing to at least consider that this might be so during the coming 2 days, and if so, we can almost guarantee you a life-changing experience. And really afterwards you'll not find it as changing as you would have considered it beforehand, because everything that was still is, but there's a light added to it that makes it all a lot more pleasant and agreeable.